Welcome to the Effortless English Show with the world's #1 English teacher, AJ Hogue, where AJ's more than 40 million students worldwide finally learn English once and for all, without the boring textbooks, classrooms, and grammar drills. Here's AJ with a quick piece to help you learn to speak fluent English effortlessly.
Hi, I'm AJ Hogue, the author of Effortless English. Learn to speak English like a native. Go to effortlessenglish.com. Enter your email for a free copy of my audiobook, effortlessenglish.com. I remember my first time public speaking. It was a public speaking class, Dale Carnegie public speaking class. I have told this story many times. My hands were shaking, my voice was tight like this, and it sounded really weak, and I was super scared, so terrified, not just nervous, I was terrified. It was awful. That class met every week. So the second week, I had to go back and give a longer speech. Week 1, we just introduced ourselves, just stood up for about 10 seconds, and yet I was so nervous. Week 2, we had to give a 3-minute speech. And oh God, I was so scared and nervous the whole week before. I kept thinking, like how can I prepare and what's the best topic? And then I practiced. Finally, I gave the speech, and again, I was quite nervous. Again, my voice sounded kind of tight. Like when I got nervous, my neck and my throat would get really tight, and it made my voice sound strange. So I knew my voice sounded strange, and my hands were still shaking. The third week, still nervous, and it was a 10-week program. And I can remember that by week number 8, I was less nervous. My voice sounded more normal. I was shaking less. And I was able to think better. I think that's the main improvement I had, that instead of just being so frozen by fear, I was able to relax a little bit and remember my speech, how I had planned it, how I had practiced it, and I was able to give some pretty good speeches by the end of the class. Now, we learned some good techniques in that class. It's an excellent program. And in some future Effortless English shows, I will teach you some specific public speaking techniques. But today, let's talk about one secret that is super, super simple. Maybe the simplest way to improve your public speaking. The simplest way to overcome the fear, the nervousness, the tight throat, the shaking hands, the sweating hands, the tunnel vision. That's when your vision suddenly you can only see directly ahead. The fast heartbeat, the faster breathing, all of that stuff that happens before you give a speech and while you give a speech. What's the simplest way to improve that? Well, I'll tell you. Do a lot of public speaking. Do a lot of speeches. Just quantity, which means numbers. More and more. If you just do a lot of them, even if you do a lot of bad, boring speeches, it will still help you. Because the more you do, the more you speak publicly, the easier it gets. Each speech you do, you will feel a little less nervous, a little less scared. Each speech you do, you'll feel a little more comfortable. Now, in the beginning, you won't notice. You'll still feel terrible. But after 8, 9, 10 times, you'll start to feel a little bit of a change. after 20 times, 30 times, 40, 50 times, you'll notice bigger changes. You'll feel more comfortable. You're speaking on the stage or in front of people will feel more natural. It will sound more natural and relaxed, and therefore better, therefore more interesting. As I said, in the future, I'll teach you some, specific techniques for better public speaking, but this one is the simplest one that anyone can do. Just do a lot of speeches. Now, I already hear you, but AJ, I don't have a chance to do a lot of speeches. Well, that's not true, is it? You have many chances. See, you have to think big. Public speaking, most people, when they think of public speaking, they think of standing on a stage in front of an audience, people sitting in chairs, 20, 30 people or more. But think about the phrase public speaking. Speaking is obvious. Public means just it really means to groups. It means to all the people out there. So public speaking really means, speaking. There are really two parts to public speaking, I'd say. Number one, you're speaking to groups of people. Talking to one person, that's not public speaking. Not really. But the second part of public speaking is all the attention is on you. This is what makes it scary. Right? It's not just you're talking to a group, it's that everyone's looking at you the whole time. Right? Like if you get in a group, let's say you go to some class or workshop, seminar, and everyone sits in a circle, and then you all just have a group discussion and everyone's discussing, and it's more like a conversation. That's less scary, right? Because all the attention is not on you, right? Everyone's sharing the talking, so it's not so scary. But if you have the same group, but you have to stand up and then speak to all of them, suddenly that's public speaking. Everyone's looking at you and listening to you. And that's scary. It makes people nervous. It's also the best thing about public speaking, because when everyone's listening to you and looking at you, you have more influence. You can influence people more, right? I mean, that's why people do public speaking, to be more influential. Now, we can also generally think of public speaking not only face-to-face, but even, like I'm doing right now, video. It's the same idea. Right now, I'm speaking to tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, perhaps even millions of people. Some of my YouTube videos have over 2 million views. So when I talk to the camera, I'm actually talking to possibly millions of people. And all their attention's on me while they watch the video. That's a kind of public speaking. And this is great for you because this is a great opportunity to practice. See, one of the easiest ways you can practice is you do what I'm doing right now. Talk to videos. Give speeches to a camera, then put them on YouTube or Facebook, doesn't matter, but put them somewhere that the public, meaning everybody, can watch them. Then when you're making that video, you might feel a little bit of that nervousness because you realize, people are going to watch this. So it gives you some of that feeling of standing on a stage. Now, usually it's easier for people to talk to a camera than to talk to a big group of people face to face. But that's also a good thing because it's easier. It gives you practice that's not too scary. It's a little bit scary. It makes you a little nervous because you'll put it online and other people will see it, but it's not super scary. And that's good. You can start training yourself to be comfortable speaking to groups of people, giving speeches, giving presentations. Video's a great way to do that. Another great advantage of giving lots of video speeches is that you can watch them yourself, right? You watch them and look at the computer, play it, and then you can see how you look. And probably it's painful. I know. You're going to feel it's terrible, right? We all feel that way. Everybody feels that way. I watch my own videos. I think, I see my mistakes. I see little problems. That's normal. That's human. So that's okay. That's how you improve. So that's fine. But that's a great way to improve because when you have yourself on video, you can watch it again. Maybe you notice some bad habit you have. Like maybe you always go, you make that noise, That's a common one. People, when they're thinking, they make a noise while they're thinking, It's a bad habit. It doesn't sound very good. But you might see yourself doing that. Then you know, I need to improve that. You might notice that you look down a lot. Now, looking down or to the side, it's okay sometimes when you're thinking of something. I do it. You'll notice me doing it sometimes. I'll look down, think for a second, and then come back. That's fine. But if you're doing it all the time, quickly, like this, it also looks bad. On the video, you'll see that, and you'll know, that's a problem. It looks bad. I need to improve that. So in many ways, you can coach yourself with video. Also, just by doing videos often, frequently, you will get better. You just get better. Your brain gets used to speaking a lot, especially if you're doing it in English. It's not your native language. Well, you need that extra practice. For me, I'm doing this 40 in 40 project, 40 shows in 40 days. I think this is number 6. I notice I'm already getting more comfortable. You see, I took a break. I haven't done a show in many months, and I really haven't done a lot of shows in over a year. Just took a break. I've been busy in my life doing some other things. And so because of that, I'm rusty. We say rusty in English. To be rusty, it means your skill is not so good. It means you have a skill, but you have not used it for a long time, and so the skill is lower than normal, right? So I feel like my speaking right now, my public speaking or my video speaking for my shows is not as comfortable, not as good as sometimes in the past. It's rusty. But I've noticed after 6 shows now, it's getting better. I feel more relaxed. I'm thinking faster while I talk. I'm getting more of a feeling again of doing the shows. Each time I'm feeling a little better, getting better. I also watch the shows on video. I can see some problems, some things I don't like. I get new ideas as I do shows to maybe try something new. Maybe it'll be better. And in this way, I'll improve. So will you. So here's my challenge to you. If you really are serious, you really want to be better at public speaking, then do it every day. Maybe 1 month. You could do 30 days or 40 days like I'm doing, 40 and 40. You could do the same thing. You could do 1 speech per day for 40 days. Record every speech on video. Put it on YouTube. That's my challenge to you. Even if it's bad. Okay? So this is the thing. If you really want to practice, when you record, you can't stop. If you make a mistake, you can't, stop, do it again. I'll do it 10 times. That's not like a real speech, right? When you're standing on a stage, you can't just stop and start again. If you make a mistake in a real speech, you just have to keep going. Believe me, I make mistakes in speeches all the time. It's not a disaster if you know how to deal with it. So it's very important when you're practicing on video, you can't stop when it's not perfect and start again. That's a bad habit. You train yourself to stop thinking when you make a mistake. That's bad. You don't want to do that because then if you're standing on a stage and you make a mistake, then you just freeze and you want to start again, and it'll be a really bad thing. Please, you don't want to do that. You want to get good at continuing, about making a mistake and then just kind of laughing about it or ignoring it, and you keep going. That's the best practice. So when you record your videos, your speeches, pretend it's live, okay? No starting again. As soon as you hit the record button, that's it. You have to do it. If you make mistakes, keep going anyway. And still put it on YouTube, even with the mistakes. This is how I record most of my shows. You'll notice I'll make some mistakes in my shows sometimes because I want to practice. This is also how I practice to get better, because sometimes I speak to huge groups of people. This year I spoke to a group like 1,000, and a few days before that, a group of 800 people. My biggest audience was 3,000 people. So I want to train myself to handle mistakes well when I'm on a stage in front of a huge group of people. So I do not want to create a bad habit of stopping every time I make a mistake. That's not good. The other reason I do it is that I want you to see that I make mistakes too sometimes. Even native speakers do it. Even English teachers do it. Even I do it. Sometimes we make mistakes. It's no big deal. You'll see sometimes I'll have trouble pronouncing a word. My mouth gets dry or something, and I'll... It's okay. No big deal. I keep it in. I don't stop and edit it out of my show. I keep it in. I want you to see that. It's natural. It's real. And it's okay if you do it too. I probably make grammar mistakes every now and then when I'm speaking. So what? It's okay. Just keep going. All right, so public speaking, the first thing I want you to do is just do it a lot. Just do it a lot. I'll give you better techniques later, but first you need to get comfortable with it. You just have to increase your comfort and decrease your fear. That's the first thing. Right? When your fear's too high, you can't think. And because you can't think, you're so afraid, you're so nervous, you can't think, then it's impossible to improve. You don't remember the techniques I tell you because you're too afraid. Your brain can't work. So the first thing you have to do is get comfortable before you can focus on specific techniques for great speeches. You just have to be comfortable. And the first thing to do is just to do it a lot. So one speech per day for, 40? One speech per day for 40 days. Join me. I'm doing 40 shows in 40 days. You do 40 speeches in 40 days. Video, put it on YouTube. Then tell me on Twitter, tell me on Gab. If you send me a link to your videos, your speeches, I will retweet them. I'll send them out to my audience so more people will watch it. You should let me do that, even if you think it's terrible. That's okay. In fact, it's good if it's bad. Let us see your bad videos. Let us see your terrible videos, because then a week later, 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, then we will see your improvement. So that's a good thing. All right, so join me in the 40 in 40 challenge. Your speeches can be short. I talk a long time, okay? I talk and talk. I want to give you a lot of extra listening, so I kind of talk and talk and talk. For you, as a beginner, your speeches can be just 3 minutes. 3 to 5 minutes is fine. All right, well, that's it. As usual, I will go live on Facebook or Periscope and answer questions about this show. I'll do it tomorrow. So join me. Watch me on Twitter. Watch me on Gab. I will announce when my live video starts. The kind of after show live party on Periscope or Facebook Live. For a free text guide of this show and all of my shows, go to effortlessenglishclub.com. effortlessenglishclub.com. Free text guides, free transcripts. See you next time. Bye for now.